Hello, welcome back to yet another video. Hope everyone's doing well. Don't worry, the regular video will still be posted. I just want to kind of test a few different things and see if you guys like just to have breakdown videos, as well as obviously the mix, a little bit of trading, a little bit of lifestyle stuff. So I will be uploading kind of breakdowns, whether we win a trade, whether we lose. If we miss, I'll see, because obviously we haven't taken anything, but those will probably be the ones where we mix them in the regular videos. However, since we did take a trade this week, yesterday, GBP NZD, this is what we will go through. Lovely trade. Honestly, I shared it everywhere, basically. Anywhere I could, it was shared. So I know a bunch of you guys caught this for free, as well as all the students absolutely crushing it. So super proud of them, and I'm glad you guys caught this as well. So starting off super simple, right? Weekly time frame. All we have to do is be able to identify market structure, okay? If you struggle identifying market structure, it's going to be extremely hard to know what you're looking for, when to enter, when to exit, and those sort of things. Market structure is super important, right? So I'm just going to start at a random place, right? If this is our high, this is actually, I'm not going to get rid of this. This is our high, this is our low, right? All you have to do is draw out these lines and say, okay, did we break above or did we break below? So as you can see, we didn't end up breaking below, and it's crucial that it has to be the body, okay? It cannot be a wick. Wicks do not count. It has to be a body closure in order to shift structure. So this is our high, this is our low. We do not shift above, but we do body close below. So we can move this. This then becomes our lower low, okay? The reason it's a lower low is simple. It's just because it's body closed below the low, right? So if this is our lower low, all we do is grab our brush, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking. The moment we no longer have a path to walk on is where we find our lower high. Again, it is the same place as our high was, which is absolutely fine. You know, don't worry if you see, oh, it hasn't moved or it's moved. Either is fine. So this is our lower low, and then this is our lower high, right? So we can see that the weekly time frame is bearish, okay? Because we haven't closed below, creating lower lows, or we haven't closed above, creating a new high, shifting us bullish, okay? So that's fine. I'm going to just get rid of these so we don't get confused. Now the next thing to do is go over to the daily time frame and do the same exact thing, right? We're just going to find a high. You don't want to go too far back, but you don't want to start where current price is, because it's going to just confuse you and you're going to have nothing to kind of base it from. Because if we have this is our low, this is our high, like how do we know if we've broken above or below? So make sure to kind of start in the middle, and that should be absolutely fine. So this is our high, this is our low. Do we body close above or do we body close below? We don't body close above, and we can draw our lines out to make it easier as well. We do not body close above, but we do body close below, right? So as we can see all the way down there, we can move this little circle to down here. Again, very similar. This becomes our lower low just because we have body closed below our current low. So that gets moved to there. Once again, grab our brush, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking. No longer have a path to walk on, so this area is our lower high. It just happens to be, again, it is also in the same exact place where the weekly one was, kind of like, you know, how before, but it doesn't mean anything. That's absolutely fine. So once again, do we break above? Do we break below? No, we do nothing, which is great, which means that we have two time frames in sync already. The final step is the same exact thing. Go over to the 4-hour time frame. Are we bearish or are we bullish? All we have to do is, again, find yourself a high, find yourself a low, and say, okay, where are we? Where are we? Do we break above? No. Do we break below? Ever so slightly, right? Very slightly. You have to really zoom into this one, and I will do that for you guys. Very slightly body close below, right? So this area becomes our lower low. Grab our brush, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking. This becomes our lower high. So we just go back to the weekly time frame again and look for our area of interest. And a valid area of interest has 2 to 3 touches and is just an area where price has a reaction. So if, for example, we were to draw an area of interest, this is a good example. This is a valid area of interest, right? Because we have multiple touches. Every time price gets to this area, we either have a reaction, right? We go up, we go down, down, down. We have a break, have a retest, we have a reaction, continue to push. So this is a great valid area of interest. However, it has to be within price, right? It can't just be, we can't use this area of interest because that doesn't help us with where price currently is. The most important thing to remember is as long as we don't body close above, so if this is our lower low, lower high, if price was to have a pullback like this, and shift, then obviously we can't look for sales anymore. I mean, we can, but it's a counter trend trade, so then we'd have to adjust. So as long as price pulls up to this zone, you know, if we scroll back here, we'll be able to see that it is a valid zone. It's just a little hard to see at the moment, but essentially what I was doing is I was basing it off of the daily as well. So see, okay, we're bouncing, what's going to happen? The daily time frame can have a massive pullback all the way to this area, as long as also we don't body close above this zone and shift bullish. Okay, so now we're kind of having the retest. It's been happening for a while. If you watch the other videos as well, you can see the retest has been happening. We go over to the 4-hour time frame, and we were simply waiting at the time. How now we're doing it, it is bearish, right? But at the time we didn't have any of this stuff, so we were simply waiting for price to have a break and a retest, right? The reason I'm wait for a break and retest is because it gives me extra confirmation. Okay, so I can wait for price to shift bearish, right? We've shifted bearish, which is great. It's having a pullback, but if this is our zone and this is our area of interest, it makes it extremely hard, and you're kind of putting yourself in a position that could get you stopped out easier if you suddenly look to enter here, right? Obviously in this case it doesn't happen, but if you put your stops above here, that's fine, you know, it gives you a better risk to reward. However, it makes it extremely difficult if you're already above the zone. So a quick example, if this is our zone, right, and price is kind of bouncing, doing this, and you think, oh, it's ever so slightly body closed and had its retest, but it's below the zone, right? So like in this example, price could easily just shoot up and continue to go higher if we're looking for those buys, but there's nothing stopping it from just doing this and bouncing off of this area, bouncing off and then going down, right? Because it's respecting this and it's using it as a ceiling, rather than be like, okay, I'm gonna go up the stairs, use my ceiling, right, that I have downstairs as my floor, which is essentially resistance turning into support, and then push up higher, right? So that's all you have to think about. I personally like to wait for it to actually be below the zone and have a proper break retest. Like for example here, we've had the break, we've had the retest. It is a wick retest, right? We've had these a lot lately, but that's also fine. We just have to be a little bit more cautious as to where we put our stop loss. That's the reason I ended up entering here rather than above here, because I want to see an actual confirmation that price is ready to go down. We essentially got two break and retest, right? We got the original break retest, price went down, and then we kind of got a little bit of a retest, rejection candle, and then ready to go down, right? Same on the lower time frames. All you have to do is wait for that break retest in order to sell, and then you are good to go, right? You just have to be extra cautious as to where you're entering, but the most important thing is follow market structure. Okay, just you don't want to be entering when price is here. You don't want to be randomly entering when price is pushing up, right? Because you have no real reason to do so, right? Because how do you know that price is really ready to go down, right? You can enter, you know, the reason I don't enter right away on here is because, okay, that's fine, you know, it gives us an entry, but do you see the size of our stop loss, right? Because we have to put it above a structure point, we have to put it above the wick, or whatever you want to do with your stop loss, right? But if you put it there, it's a 1-to-1, and where I got out of the trade, it's, for me, it was almost 1-to-3, right? But for this trade, it's barely over a 1-to-1. So you always have to kind of look at the options and say, is it worth it actually entering the trade, right? So yeah, beautiful engulfing on the 4-hour, but we talked about this in the last video, which was the chart breakdown as well, where I was talking about there was a beautiful 4-hour rejection engulfing, but that doesn't mean that price is ready to go down. Okay, you have to look at where it is in the chart. You have to look at the lower time frames. What are they doing? What is happening overall, right? Sometimes you might get a little bit carried away and think, oh my gosh, I see this is about to happen, right? And it might happen, but you might get, you know, a win 1 or 2 times, but the rest and the majority will make you lose, and you think, why am I losing? It's just because you're entering ever so slightly too early, right? So the small changes of simply waiting for that break, for that retest, even though we have already shifted bearish, okay? In this instance, great example, right? I told you guys, if we entered right away on here, even if we entered on the retest, we would have still been in, right? But like I was showing you on that drawing, there's no reason as to why price has to respect the zone and go down, right? Because we are still using this area as a support, rather than because we're selling, we do want to use it as a resistance. So just be mindful of the small things and make sure you learn market structure. I do have video on that as well, but please be super careful, because you are taking unnecessary losses for no reason because you're entering too early, okay? But I hope this was useful. Just a quick little breakdown for you guys. But let me know what you think about these videos, and be sure to wait for the other ones. Again, if you are looking to join my community and have access to my full exact trading strategy, live calls with the students, breakdowns, every single thing you need, then do be sure to check out the first link in the description to book a call with my team to see if you qualify, because we do not accept everyone. But thank you guys. Watch out for the next video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.